Well, let me go into the why of current events. And this is not a why I've come up with in the last few days. It's a why I've been talking about for a long time. And I have this phrase, know the outcome and you'll see the journey. If you don't know what the outcomes plan to be, then events in the world appear random. They appear unexplainable, bewildering. But if you know what the outcomes plan to be, then they become very clear stepping stones, what I call the totalitarian tiptoe to that outcome. So it's so important that people hold the global level of this control system.
Yeah.
Because what I've seen since COVID and all these people started coming out of the mainstream to take the alternative media over, is it's regressed. And it's regressed from a understanding that we live in one-party states where if you go back into the shadows with either of the major parties, or even three in some countries or more, you are hitting the same force manipulating from the shadows. And they use something that I refer to as designer manipulation. If you want to push to a certain collective outcome, then it's no good manipulating different belief systems the same way, because you're going to get some, but you ain't going to get the rest. So what you do is you design your manipulation to the belief system you're targeting. So what's the outcome? I mean, there's many outcomes, but this is the bottom line of bottom line outcomes. They want artificial intelligence to run the entire human system, which can be centrally controlled, by the way. And they want a fusion of the human brain, a human body, and artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence becomes the human mind. What I found compelling and what I'm always looking for is patterns of agreement among belief systems that would otherwise disagree on almost everything.
Right. Okay.
So
even going back, but even ancient.
Yeah, ancient and modern. And so when you look at the ancient cultures, and I did long ago now, you see that they are telling the same story. They're just using different names for the negative force and its minions.
The destructive force, yeah.
Yeah, that they're talking about. So if you look at Christianity, they talk about Satan, the devil, and minions that serve that, what I say is a consciousness, a very distorted, inverted consciousness, called demons. If you look at Islam, they talk about shaitan, not Satan, and Iblis, and they talk about the jinn as the minions. Then you look at the Gnostic belief system, you mentioned Yaldabaoth, and the archons minions, archons being a Greek word meaning rulers appropriately. And wherever you look around the world, in these different cultures, they're telling the same story. In Central America, some shamans talk about, the predators. There's different names, but they're telling the same story. And that is a force operating outside of human sight, consistently, that is manipulating human society. It's doing it by manipulating human perception. And it's doing it directly, if we fall for it, by the manipulation of our consciousness fields. But it's also doing it via this global cult as well, and playing people off against each other. And I've been saying all along that the stadium on which this entire conspiracy is played out is human perception. That's everything. Everything they do is about controlling, manipulating that. Because we behave as we do because we perceive as we do. And we perceive as we do because of the information we receive from which we form those perceptions. This is what censorship's all about. And, you know, that information can be personal experiences, it can be a television news item, it can be a Facebook post, whatever. But we're forming our perceptions from the information we receive. That's the biggie. It's anxiety, it's depression, it's resentment, it's hatred, and all these low vibrational emotions. And joy and love and happiness are high, fast frequencies. And what they want to do is keep us in a low vibrational state, because our energetic fields are dictated by our perceptions of reality. You know, when you know, people are in a state of depression, they say, "Oh, I feel so heavy today," or "Life's such so heavy." That's because their state of being is generating low, slow frequencies that are making their energetic field vibrate very slowly, very densely. That's why they feel heavy. And then you get people who are in a state of happiness and joy, and they say, "Oh, I feel so light today," because they're generating through their perceptions high frequencies that are vibrating their energetic field in a much more vibrant way. And what they need to do, and there are other reasons for this, which we'll get into another time, is keep us in that low vibrational state, because they keep us, therefore, within the perceptual range of the matrix. We are in the matrix and of the matrix. Once you start to go through a true awakening, not awakening to Trump, a true awakening to the nature of the true I, the true identity, which is a state of infinite awareness, then suddenly you start to see things you couldn't see before.
So would this be like the ancient Maya Thoron?
Because you're accessing levels of awareness, knowledge, insight, perception that are outside, because you're expanding your self-identity. Thus, that automatically expands your field into these other realms beyond the simulation, beyond the matrix, where you can access things and access insights which give you a totally different view of the world. Suddenly, you're not seeing random events anymore. Suddenly, you're seeing how it all connects, because you're no longer being subjected only to the systematic suppression of your state of awareness.